you know, 14 political parties will be involved, but the two dominant parties are the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party. And when we got into town, we saw everywhere, you know, everybody, is either you're for PDP or your APC, is a close contact between those two political parties. And I have the former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress with me, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Thank you for coming on the news at 7.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We've sampled some opinions, and the people we've been talking to, they've told us that they don't mind Governor Obaseki continuing as the governor of Edo State. What do you have against this?
Well, with due respect, this is a wrong question to put. Once you are in a multi-party democracy, it's all about choice. And if you talk to 10 people, some will say, I prefer this person, others will say they prefer the other person. So, but if you are suggesting that everybody is saying that, that is not my findings.
So, what we are looking at here is that 4 years ago, you supported Governor Obaseki.
Yeah.
And in the next 4 years, you've changed your mind. What are those fundamental things? Are you talking about your project? Are you talking about those issues? What was the point of departure?
Well, it's essentially the basis for the agreement before was, and I think it remains the same, namely, for every outgoing governor, and under the same party platform, we have a couple of projects that were dear to our heart. We realized that to get rid of PDP in Edo State, we have to work with the people. We have to address the critical concerns of the people. And like I've argued this way, Nigeria is still at basic need level. That is why the issue of ideology, you find that it hardly tends to play up. People simply want good roads to drive on for commercial purpose, for social purpose, for leisure purpose. They want schools for their children, schools that are manned by teachers that are well paid and are qualified to teach. That's the only way you can guarantee upward mobility.
Those amenities not been provided in the last 4 years?
Yeah, so we tackle all of that. That was the basis of my being able to retain, working with other APC leaders and formerly ACN leaders. That was the basis of our retaining government. And so going forward, because he worked with me at that time, he was going to continue with those projects, namely sustain our policy on healthcare, sustain our commitment to revive public schools and rebuild them completely, recruit teachers so that we have enough teachers to teach in both primary and secondary schools, healthcare policy, aggressively pursue rural road infrastructure. Because part of the challenge of our rural communities is that people work so hard, but they cannot evacuate their farm produce to the market. So these are not luxuries, these are basic needs. And of course, extend electricity to as many communities as possible. It turned out down the line that he abandoned all of that. And
that's your
graph departure. And we had a conversation a couple of times that you need to begin to address those things. Because there were some slogans we developed while I was here, and it was part of it. Namely, we developed this thing about raising voters' awareness, 1 man, 1 vote, which I think was a huge success. And that's the only way to eliminate rigging and electoral violence. The second was to work for the people, things that really the people can connect with. You know, create employment, which is why while I was in office, we set up, there were a number of industries that came in. And all we needed to do was provide an enabling environment. Now, what has just happened is, the current governor has not built any new school. He has not employed any teacher.
That's debatable.
He hasn't built any, it's not debatable. He hasn't built any new school. The one you see them advertising are schools that are built. He will just go and repaint it. When you have schools without roof, even here in the heart of Benin, I mean, you are not just a journalist, you also have a reputation for investigative journalism. While you are in Benin, take time, get somebody who is familiar with the environment to take you. You'll be shocked to see the condition of some schools here in the heart of Benin City. Going around, just go to a school and ask the people, how many teachers do you have in this school? You'll be shocked, on average, they have 3. In some cases, they have 2, 1 principal and 2 others, which means those children are just being deceived that they are in school because
ultimately,
so having abandoned the basis,
a lot of
basis for my support is that I believe he shares the vision. It was a shared vision. And I'm happy that a couple of times he has spoken to it. And when you abandon the vision, that is the basis for my support. I mean, I owe Edo people so much because if you know the amount of support I had, particularly in my second term, in the face of a very vicious PDP leaders at the time, if I have to talk to Edo people as I had to do to support a man who was unknown to the electorate, once he deviated and people started complaining, I had the duty to draw his
Comrade,
attention.
I'm afraid we are short of time, but as we're reaching home stretch now, a lot of people see this as a final battle for you, that is a make or mar battle, that you've lost out being the national chairman of the APC. Now, the only legacy you have to hold on to is Edo State. What if this does not go your way? That this might be the end of Oshiomhole politically?
That is not correct. That is not correct. These are more very hostile questions, by the way. That is not correct. I didn't join APC in order to chair it. I have a predecessor whom I'm very proud of, Bishia Kande, the first interim chairman of our party. Whether you like it or not, it remains politically relevant, even out of office. So the chairmanship was not my purpose. Number two, to say finish politically, the worth of a politician is the bond between you and the ordinary people. And I challenge you to go around Benin City, not my village, go around this city and ask people, what do you think about Oshiomhole?
Will your party win on Saturday?
4 years after I left office. It is that popular sentiment that matters.
Will your party win on Saturday?
By the grace of God, we will win, because the basis for winning an election is simple. When an incumbent is contesting, he has to run on his record. You are not just going to make promises. Like when Obaseki goes to a community and says, I know you have had no life for 4 years. In fact, let me quote what he said yesterday at their closing mega rally. He said, when he went around the state, he realized that so many communities have no road. He realized that so many communities are in the dark, they have no light. But you ought to know that even Benin is in the dark. Now, people are laughing. I'm like, so for 4 years, you don't know, we don't have road? You campaigned around the first time 4 years ago. You saw the roads, and you didn't do anything. You thought that by miracle, the conditions have changed. So he has to run on his record. And because there are no such record, I asked you if you must have covered their rally yesterday and see if they spoke to a particular thing that they have achieved. Beyond social media simulation, D3 simulation, etc. The real people who are voters, it is based on what they see. I'm very confident that by the special grace of God, we are going to win.
Okay, we have to leave it there, comrade. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And that has been the former chairman of the All Progressive Congress, that is Comrade Adams Ali Oshiomhole. Over to you, Lagos.